Well, the actual movement of the golf swing, now that we've got the grip and setup and alignment taken care of, comprises of two things that we're always trying to blend together. The hand action, which is it's a small thing, but it's very important in controlling the blade, and then the actual pivot. And what I wanted to explain to you in this segment is the actual hand action. So again, when we set up, you can notice that we still got our pre-cock position, and we bend over to the ball, just like so. Now, let's just pretend that the ball is point 0. And if I took my hands and I cocked them all the way to here, that would be 90 degrees from there. And then if I did the same thing on the other side, that'd be 90. So if you put 90 and 90 together, that'd be 180 degrees of this little semicircle, just like so. In the golf swing, what I want you to try to grasp today is basically when we set up the hands, as we cock our hands as they go back, never break more than 45 degrees. So when I take this golf club back, I'm not continually allowing it to continually to cock. As I take it away, we're just going to go to about right there, and then my hands will be fully cocked as much as they want to. This will help me blend my pivot into the golf swing, but we're going to take it and let it break 45 degrees, look, boom, and then from there we just turn back and go through it. Same thing on the other side of the golf swing. When I go through the shot, I'm not continually cocking it just like so. We're going to allow it to break to right there, and what this does is this forces the body to actually advance that golf club. Now, along with the 45-degree break is my hands. I like to take the face of that golf club, and my hands work in what we call a little bit of a conical action. And by that I mean when I take it away, this breaks a little bit under. I like to think that it breaks under, and when I come through the shot, it breaks a little bit like that, even though when I come through it, there's a tremendous amount of centrifugal force that's actually trying to close that blade. But basically, if you took almost like an ice cream cone, and this was the point of the ice cream cone, the front part, see, it'd look a little bit like that as far as this hand action is concerned, just like so. Now, in a golf swing, what that does for me is, see, this would be like the lower quadrant. You know, we're trying to swing it around that motion right there, that path. And so when I take it back that way, we're right here. So see, my club is already set. So once the club gets to about right here, see, it's already set. I don't have to continually cock it. So once I get it up to the top, we're right here. See, I don't have to mess with anything. It's already set perfectly. And you can see at the top of my golf swing that I've got a little bit of a bow, not much, but just a little bit of bow, and that allows my hands to be cocked. When we set up to the golf club, our hands are in what we call a neutral position, and then we want to take them from that neutral position, and we want them to set in this cock position. We sure don't want to take it back and take it up here and uncock the golf club. We want to be able to cock it where we can uncock it and let that club release fully through that golf shot. So simple little deal. We're going to let our hands cock about 40 degrees, and then from this position, see, as we turn back, see, that allows this just a little bit of the hand below the wrist, just like so. And now my hands are cocked, and as I shift over, see, I can release or get all the energy out of my hands to the back center of that golf ball. But that's what the hand action looks like in the golf swing.
Hand action review. Hands have a maximum break of 45 degrees during takeaway. The hand breaks slightly under, creating a slightly bowed position of the left hand at the top of the swing.
In describing the pivot, we've actually created 2 or 3 little drills. It'll be, I think, a great illustration as opposed to trying to explain the movement, you know, just with a golf club. So I'm going to place this golf club down, but what I want you to realize is, now what I've done is I've got me a little eye hook set in the ground right here, and I've got a little rope, and we're going to take our normal stance, and you can see it creates what we call an A-frame. And from this position here, I can show you exactly how the body works. This isn't how the arm works, but this will show you exactly what happens in the golf swing when it comes to the weight shift and the path that this body takes. Now, what I'm going to do is we actually allow the bottom of our spine to swing to the right and to the left as it twists. But you can see this A-frame, see, my body's going to work on this position. It goes right down that line, and then from there we do a little shift to the bottom, boom, just like so. But this is how my body works in a golf swing. See, what we allow the bottom of our spine to swing in order to keep the top part still. But you can see this very coordinated motion of the ankles and the knees and the hips, but this will show you, give you a little guide path on how the body works in the golf swing, just like so. Now, another little great point about this drill is what happens is in a golf swing, a lot of times people, you know, they get what we call, let me grab this club real quick, they get what we call way over the top, like this, so that we're coming over the top of the shot. And what you got to understand about the golf swing, your center of gravity is right about your belly button there. If you got more weight in your lower body, it would be a little bit lower. If you got more weight in your upper body, it'd be an inch or two above. But see, this center of gravity is crucial because you always want your weight going with your center of gravity. So we allow the bottom part of the spine to swing in our golf swing, and that keeps the top part of the head still. And so if you got somebody coming over the top of the ball, it's a simple correction to make. You can see I'm out of position, but what we do is we just take that center of gravity and we move it out in front of that chin, and so now everything's lined up and you can actually have the force of that center of gravity going into the back of the ball like so. If someone moves off the ball tremendously laterally this way, see, what we do is we take that center of gravity, pull it back underneath them, and you can see now we're lined up and ready to hit the golf shot. So this is absolutely critical. Now, this moves a great deal in our golf swing. Now, if this all stayed still, is what would happen is your upper body moves laterally. And once it does that, that's like taking a new address position right in the middle of your golf swing. It's hard for you to be consistent when you do that. So remember, when we set up that golf ball, we're working on what we call an A-frame, and we're allowing the bottom of the spine to swing and twist. As we come back through it, see, we're allowing it to shift over the other side, and that keeps the head and the upper body still, where we can have a more consistent golf shot and create a much better circle as it goes around the path of the base of our neck. Okay, another thing about the pivot is a great little visual imagery you can watch as you're watching football is what I'll try to do to help me sometimes for an impact position is if you ever watch one of those soccer style kickers, obviously they stand back and they come through it and they come through it just like so. Well, their leg action with that right leg and that right hip, see, that brings the whole world around in a golf swing. So I like to think at the top of my golf swing, as I come back down, I try to visualize I'm literally kicking that ball with my whole right side, my toe and everything. And what that does is that gives me an early set with the left side as I go through the shot, just like so. But it's literally just like kicking it, like a soccer style kicker comes through it. But obviously your foot's not going to go in front of it. But it's a great way to get off your right side because our golf swing works best when you get off that right side early and set that left side as we go through the shot. Let me go ahead and I'll hit you one and you can see what I'm talking about. Set her up. Boom. That's about as good as I can hit it. But again, just visualize a soccer style kick with that lower right side just as we do that. See, another thing too, by concentrating on the lower part of your body, we get much more of a ground up swing. As you shift right here, see your upper body's just kind of following instead of leading, and it's a real secure kind of a quiet way to guarantee good synchronization as you go through the golf shot. Well, in describing the compound pivot, I think this is probably the best word picture or illustration we have as concerning drills. But what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how you put a shift and a turn together, and you also blend the body motions together. Much easier to create a lot more discipline for the movements and the path of your body. Now what I want you to do is just imagine I'm standing right in the middle of a large clock, and for reference points that golf ball is going to be 12 o'clock, and then obviously directly behind me would be 6 o'clock, and then we would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on and so forth. Now what happens in a golf swing, we stand, when we take our stance, we're on what we call a 2-foot balance. And so the way my body works is just imagine the 4 o'clock position and the 10 o'clock position. My spine, or the lower part of it, actually moves to the right and to the left, but it doesn't go from 3 to 9. That would be a sway. What we do is we go from, as I shift my weight from a 2-foot balance to a 1-foot balance, I go to what we call the 4 o'clock position. My spine goes to 4 o'clock. Boom, and that allows my right leg to be set in a real strong position, and also helps me maintain the elevation of my chin. Now, as I go to 4, now what happens on the downswing is a couple things. This allows you to shift and turn. Now, when I come back to the ball, the lower part of the bottom of my spine works to 10 o'clock. See, I work from 4 on the backswing to 10 on the through swing. This allows my center of gravity to be moving the weight that my weight shifts. Now, as I shift my weight to that 10 o'clock positions, at impact, I want my shoulders, see the lower part's going to that 10 o'clock position, but I want my shoulders at what we call the 1-7 position. So we go from 4 to 10, but my shoulders at impact, see, to hit it off the side, we want it at that 1-7. Real simple little thing to practice, but what that is that's a compound pivot. That's a shift and a turn. So pretty simple. Look, I start off on a 2-foot balance. I shift to that 4 o'clock position. Now that's a 1-foot balance. And as I come back to the ball, I briskly get off that right foot, elevate the right foot, and swing it over the toe. And the spine, look, when my spine points to that left heel right there, as I get to right there, see, then I turn and we get to that 1-7 position. And then obviously you come on up, the head's still there until the right shoulder brings it up, and you're in perfect balance like this. Now I've got a little 5-iron right here. Here's what I'm going to do is we'll take it from this viewpoint. Just watch what my body does. And this allows me to have a tremendous turning action right back into the ball. We set her up, we just go from 4 to 10 to 1 to 7.